Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more reviews. It's been a while since I made a video, huh? It's been a little bit. I just been really busy with everything. I can go on and on with why I've been. I just haven't really been able to have time to make videos lately. But I did see this movie recently, and I figured it deserved a review. Because I actually quite enjoyed this movie. I do recommend it a lot, and that is the 1974 film starring Vincent Price and Peter Cushing, Madhouse, which is a film that I had never heard about. This is a movie that I had never heard about. I just remember one day seeing this poster amongst, I think it was like a horror page I was following or something like that. I seen this poster, and I was kind of like, wow, like what is that movie? I've never heard of that movie before. What is this film? And then I seen the cast right there. I was like, wow, Vincent Price. I don't think I've ever seen a Vincent Price film before, so this is the first one. Peter Cushing, which technically speaking isn't the first Peter Cushing movie that I've seen because he's in Star Wars, but this is the first Peter Cushing movie that I'd seen from the whole Hammer horror film era that was going on, as well as Vincent Price was very big in that era. Also, of course, stars Robert Quarry. And the film was written by James Clark. I don't really think he went on to go and do many other movies after this. The name seemed familiar, but I read it, and I read up on his filmography, and it says here it's James Clark, but then on IMDb it says Jim Clark. So he must have had a different name when he made this movie. And it's a very basic DVD, but it doesn't look bad at all. It actually has a commentary by a film historian, David Del Valle, and then you also have a trailer, and you have a little feature about the movie. Which is pretty cool because, really, like I said, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't think this DVD would really have much on it. Very good price for this DVD. Picked it up for a very low price, by the way, so I'm pretty sure that if you want to check this movie out, which I do recommend it, you can find this movie pretty cheap. But this is a movie that came out around the end of the... I don't think it was the end of the... I think I want to say it's the end of the Hammer horror era. This is like one of those last movies to kind of cap that off, because I know when it came out, it didn't really do that great financially. I don't know about critically, but I know financially when it came out, it didn't bomb. It just wasn't big hits like all the other Hammer horror films were. Again, I believe it's Hammer horror. If not Hammer horror, I think it's this studio right here, KL Classic Studio. But I think it's just a KL studio. Maybe that was what it was. But yeah, this movie actually really surprised me because I seen that poster, and I still gotta say that's one hell of a poster. That sold me right there. I was like, wow, I gotta see this. And I know there's another horror film out there called Madhouse, which is another really popular horror film that I've also heard plenty of things about. That's from the 80s. I haven't seen that one yet, but this one surprised me. Because going into it, knowing that this movie is rated PG, this is a PG horror film, I kind of went, going in to see the light. There's not a lot of great... Poltergeist is probably my favorite PG horror film. There's not a lot of horror films that are PG rated that, because that means you don't have any gore. That means you really don't see any death scenes. You can barely have blood. You can barely... I just dropped the movie. It fell over there. Damn. But, didn't mean to drop that. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go retrieve the movie. Ugh, you saw my legs. But, yeah. The movie is PG, and, I was just like, I don't know about a PG horror film. But getting into the movie, it's a really interesting story. Vincent Price plays this actor who is very famous for being in monster movies. So it's a really cool idea if you're seeing Vincent Price kind of playing himself in a way. And he's kind of reflecting back. And what's cool about this movie is that they took clips from Vincent Price's old movies and made it to where it became, this character instead of Vincent Price in those movies. They made it for this movie. They kind of had to where this character was in those movies. And that's pretty cool how they did that. I thought that was a really creative idea. But basically, one day Vincent Price is holding this party at his house, finds out from this kind of asshole director guy. He's an adult filmmaker, so he makes adult movies. Basically porn, if you guys didn't know that. But yeah, back then, just called adult films or whatever. But this guy pretty much came up to him and said that Vincent Price's wife was in one of his movies. And of course, Vincent Price was just kind of like, oh my god, this is horrible. And he gets angry at his wife. She didn't tell him about this. And he goes downstairs, and you kind of get this shot that kind of reminded me of Giallo slasher. This is 1974. This is American horror. Is this American horror film, or is this the UK? I don't know. I think this is a US. It says right here US, but maybe it came out in the UK. I think it's a UK film, either UK or US. But this was before a lot of giallos were kind of doing this, where the straight razor, leather gloves, signature things for giallo slasher films. And you see a girl get beheaded at the beginning of this movie, decapitated. And you do see it. It's not the goriest thing in the world, but you do see the blade come down and her screaming and blood squirting, and the head kind of falls down. Now, we'll get to the effects part of this video in a second, but the effect didn't look the best. Like, it didn't look 100% really like a dummy head, but still, it just shocked me because I was like, wow, like, they showed that in a PG horror film? There's blood squirting, you see the head fall. Very, very surprising. And Vincent Price pretty much gets blamed for this murder. And he gets sent to a mental hospital, and he comes back out, and Peter Cushing is trying to help him basically recover from this. And in this movie, the most famous character that Vincent Price played was this character right here, Dr. Death. And there's a new movie coming out, Dr. Death, and Peter Cushing wants to get him involved with it. Of course, Vincent Price is kind of like, no, I don't want to get involved with it, because he's not sure he wants to start acting again or not. Peter Cushing eventually pushed him to going to basically get him back into Dr. Death movies again. And you have this really cool looking slasher going around in a Dr. Death outfit with a cool skull mask. The look of this killer in this movie was so cool looking, so neat. And I just didn't know why it never got... I don't know why this movie never really caught on. I mean, that poster is badass. It's called Madhouse. It's got Peter Cushing and Vincent Price. It's got a cool looking slasher, got a great atmosphere. So I'm surprised that it really didn't catch on that great. But I love the way it looks. Kind of has this Jack the Ripper look to him with the skull mask. Really, really creepy look, to be honest. And this killer starts to kill people. You see a girl who is one of the hottest chicks I've ever seen in a horror film from the 70s. I'm not even lying about that. When I first seen this chick, she's just beautiful. I mean that with the most utmost respect. She is just beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. But yeah, literally one of the most hottest chicks I've seen in a 70s horror film. She's definitely up there. But she gets this death scene where she gets a pitchfork to the neck, and you actually see it. You see the pitchfork go in, and the blood squirting, and her holding the... So it really surprised me that they showed all that. It was very surprising. So that's an awesome death scene. You have, her... And you see it go in and blood squirting, and it's like, how did this get a PG rating? There's no way this is PG. But somehow it is. And, there's a really crazy scene that is out of nowhere. This really crazy idea where Peter Cushing is going to shoot this scene where he lays down in this bed, and these kind of... these metal restraints come up and hold him down. He's gonna get stabbed or whatever in the scene, and they rehearse it, and the guy who rehearses it with him lays down and of course triggers the hand things to come up to where he can't move. And in this scene, the bed thing is about to fall down on him, but Vincent Price is supposed to move and it be just an effect or whatever. But what happens is the restraints don't let up, and the guy gets crushed right in front of everything. And it's a pretty bloody scene. And it's intense, and it's shocking. It's like, oh my god, holy shit. So, like I said, PG, but you're seeing people getting squashed and blood squirting. You're seeing pitchforks to the neck, decapitations. Like, I wish more PG horror films were like this. But Vincent Price basically is just, kind of losing it a little bit. He's angry because everybody's following him around. Nobody trusts him. They think he's the killer. And by the end of the movie, he actually believes he's the killer. And he ends up setting this place on fire and pretty much committing suicide. And you found that, this is a spoiler, but this is an older movie, you found that Peter Cushing is the killer. And he was jealous of Vincent Price's character because he always got the starring roles, and he was always Dr. Death, and he always was the main character. And Peter Cushing's character was always kind of like the second place. And he got jealous of it. And then Vincent Price ends up not being dead and comes back for revenge against Peter Cushing. And you kind of have this weird ending where there's this chick in the basement who, I forgot to mention her, she's basically this girl who got disfigured, and Peter Cushing is looking after her. And you see a shot of Peter Cushing. It looks like either Peter Cushing or Vincent Price, and they're just sitting there having dinner with this lady, and the movie ends. Very weird ending. Is the movie perfect? I can't say it's a perfect horror film. It does have problems. But I can say it's pretty damn solid. I mean, as far as the negatives go, like I said, some of the effects can look a little dated. Like, there are these spiders that are obviously on strings, but at the same time, they're not like, oh my god, horrible. It's just you can tell they're on strings or fake spiders, whatever. Also, the thing with this girl, this psycho actress girl in the basement of Peter Cushing's house, it's a little weird. And it comes out of nowhere, and it really, honestly, doesn't lead to much. I mean, she does end up helping Vincent Price kind of take out Peter Cushing's character, but it's kind of like they just threw it in there. It didn't really feel like it was too important. It didn't feel like it really needed to be in there that much. Because it was just really weird. It was so random. Like I said, mainly the effects. That scene that I thought was cool where the guy gets crushed, it is a cool idea, but when you think about it, it's like, alright, so this effect it's about to be done in this movie. That's the most dangerous effect in a film on a set I've seen, where there's a real wall coming down and it's in this scene. So you're telling me if there was an accident on this scene that somebody could get really crushed? So it kind of made you think about, like, alright, so would it really be like that dangerous? It's kind of like Child's Play 3, where they have that, the pretty much the haunted house ride. It's like, would it really be that dangerous though? It's like there's a real site, there's real actual like places you could fall in. There's like no way it'd be that dangerous. Here, same thing. It's like there's no way the set would be that dangerous. Besides that though, I think the acting is pretty solid. I think Vincent Price did amazing in this movie, and I definitely want to see more of his work. I thought his performance in this movie was intense. There's probably my favorite scene from this film is he's on a talk show, and this guy asked him a question like, why do you do horror films? Why are you this horror star, this movie star that's connected to these horror films, and you always play the horror character? And I think it's really a scene where it's Vincent Price talking to the audience and pretty much saying how, why he does it. I don't know if it was really him saying it, but it's a really nice scene where he pays respect to the horror community, and he pretty much says, there are the darkness in all of us, and being very mystical about it. But I thought it was a really great scene where he gave this speech and was saying how he loves playing these characters, these colorful characters. He loves playing, in this movie, he said he likes playing Dr. Death. He really likes basically paying respect to the horror community and the horror genre, and pretty much saying, why he likes to play these characters. And he's talking about how it's fun and interesting, and just very, very cool scene. That was probably my favorite scene in this entire movie. Very, very well done scene. Thought it was really well done. So yeah, Vincent Price is amazing in this movie. I definitely definitely got to see more of his work. Peter Cushing is an actor that I think is a wonderful actor, does amazing in this movie as well. The twist I thought was really well done. Like I said, Peter Cushing, just a wonderful actor. Thought he did a great job in this movie. The twist, like I said, was very like I didn't really expect it to be like that. I thought it was, when it ended, I thought it was pretty much them saying, "Oh yeah, it was Vincent Price." No, it actually ended up being Peter Cushing. Good twist. For a PG horror film, for PG, it's pretty awesome. You got this gothic, dark look to the atmosphere, which I really enjoyed. It's got a cool soundtrack that I thought was really atmospheric and really well done. The main theme of this movie I really like. I think Vincent Price actually sings the main theme song of this movie. So that's pretty cool. Some of the shots I like, the lighting, the choice of the atmosphere, it has a great look to it. Overall, very solid, I guess you could say, PG slasher film, in a way. Very, very solid. Very, very well done. And I highly recommend Madhouse. This is a pretty damn good horror film. But, yeah. Anyways, guys, pretty much my review on Madhouse. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's a very fun watch. Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, amazing. And, yeah, I absolutely love this movie. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching my review on Madhouse. Have you seen it? Have you not? Let me know in the comments below. Did you like it? How would you rate it? I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Very, very well done horror film, and I thought was a awesome ride. And I thought it was an interesting horror film, interesting idea, and very well done. But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on the film. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching the review, and I'll see you guys in the next review. The Explorer of Horror is out. See you guys.